And last but not least, if you want your corn knee-high by July, better get to plant, boys.
I make my living off the land.
This corn's beautiful.
With aching back and callous pain.
A lot of things got to go right, yeah.
The old man said you reap what you sow.
This could be some pretty phenomenal numbers.
Out here in these fields of gold.
Why it's called yellow gold.
I move harder, work harder. I get the job done, yeah, I'm a farmer. I don't back down no matter what comes my way.
Crazy year, right?
I'm an early riser, an all-nighter. Call me plowboy, yeah, I'm a fighter. Ain't gonna stop till they put me in my grave.
It's gonna be a fun year.
I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior.
This episode of Corn Warriors is presented by Pivot Bio.
So this is Spartacus coming to you live. It's Monday morning. We got Brock Reisner here. We're pulling tissue samples on soybeans. I know that's hard for everybody to picture us with soybeans, but we're gonna pull some soybean tissue samples and then we're gonna go with some corn. This is the latest in the game that we've had beans ever stand in our higher production corn ground. We'll just go down here and take a look and see what we got going on here. The reason I've not really ever liked soybeans is on our higher yielding ground, we could not keep soybeans standing. They would get 6 foot tall, go flat. We've actually switched it up to go to beans so that we can gear up for next year, soybeans with corn, to try to break that elusive 443 bushel mark, just in case we don't break it this year, you know.
What we're doing, soybean tissue testing. We look down and find a main stem, and you go to the last fully developed trifoliate.
Went to a different approach. We planted these April 6th. We have burned them back 6 times. Actually, we had a frost that got down to 33 degrees, and then we had a killing freeze. We got down to 26. It's amazing how tough that the beans are, but they come back, and then we've burned them physically by our own doings 4 more times. This is the latest in the game that we've ever had beans standing as far as the reproduction. We got some is on another farm that look tremendous. We're looking for that elusive 5 and 6 pods. Haven't seen them yet, but well, I don't know about beans. I'll just flat out tell you.
I don't think anybody does.
And our problem is we'll grow beans 5, 6 foot tall, and we'll cut 25, 30 bushel beans. I don't know if it's the years of manure that we've had that create so much vegetative growth, but you really don't want tall beans. You know, you want them nodes stacked about 1 inch apart all the way up and down it. So these are planted the same time as the other field we come from. You can see how much shorter structure these are. You know, we're already setting pods on the bottom. You know, good branching here. You can see how they're branching here. Got 2 good stems here. We did not manage these near like we did down there. For one thing, it's 15 miles from our place here. So we just sprayed fungicides on these. You can kind of see here on these nodes here. They say if you got six in a cluster, that is a good thing. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. We could be putting 8 on a node, a cluster. Pretty fired up about that. I just like how much shorter they are. Tons of sunlight they're pulling in. Lots of energy. But look at this up here. Truthfully, on a dry year, I wouldn't give you two rats on dry fertilizer. Just because we were so dry, when we pulled up roots between this and that corn over there that had the liquid, we had probably a third less roots in this field, and they were pruned from the dry fertilizer. And our tissue samples, basically all up till now, has been lacking in this field. The question is now that we've been managing, you know, having to come back in with Y drops to maintain, or at least try to help recover some of the lower levels, is if we start getting some moisture, you know, on the end of the grain fill, if it's really going to be the difference maker, because there is a lot more fertility in here than what's in that other field. I mean, this corn should be better just because of the amount of fertilizer here. This corn should be way better. But, you know, the problem is the ROI is not going to be near what that up there is. And that's kind of the point that we've been talking about with our MAC group, you know, liquid uptake. You know, you can center it, you can put it right where it wants, right when the plant wants. You don't need as much rain to break the fertilizer down. Yes, we do understand that dry fertilizer is a lot cheaper, but is it cheaper when we're giving up bushels? You know, this is probably the driest June we've ever had. Normally, we have up to inches or feet of rain in the springtime that we have, and this probably would not be an issue because we'd had enough moisture in the ground, and then that's why we like the liquid, you know, it's just so much more available to the corn plant. I'm not saying down the road that this dry is a bad thing, and maybe we will figure out running a liquid dry fertilizer. You know, maybe it is running our P&K in the fall with the strip till machine. You know, that might be the answer. You know, we don't know. You know, I mean, it's a learning. You know, we've been learning on the liquid for 5-6 years now, you know, and jump into something new again, it's going to be a big learning curve there too. We was in here Friday digging, and we still seen there was still a lot of fertilizer prills here that was still solid. I don't see any of that now. Well, I don't know. I think this was probably enough rain to finally release them all.
It was just enough to find.
But so you think about it, the 29th, I mean, this corn's 2 hybrids in here. We got 117-day and 120-day corn. So, you know, what is today? The 11th, 12th, 13th. Okay, one of them days. 6.5 weeks, be 7 weeks, right? So we're basically going to be tasseling. End of this week, we'll be seeing some tassels.
No matter what the weather throws at us, Pivot Bioproven is harnessing what is naturally within the soil, making nitrogen available to the plant.
Where I applied Pivot Bioproven, the average across the whole field was about a 5 to 6 bushel an acre benefit.
And we know that large rain events are not going to leach that nitrogen out into our water.
Gives you kind of that peace of mind that you're going to have 25 to 40 pounds of nitrogen that's there and safe.
To make this a financially and environmentally sustainable business.
Hello guys, my name is Brook Cardinal. Welcome back to Cardinal Farms. I'm here with my good buddy Chris Weaver from Maryland, and we got a special guest today. And he's from Cave City, Kentucky, so we're excited to meet him. And I think he's pulled up right now. We're gonna go check some corn when he gets here, maybe spray a little bit of corn, do whatever he wants to do. How we doing?
Hey Brooks, hey Chris.
Hey buddy, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
You too.
Good to see you, pal.
Smiling, good to meet you.
Nice to see you. Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Good to see you guys. Chris Weaver from Finksburg, Maryland. I'm out here today at Brooks Cardinal's farm here at Cardinal Farms in Oaktown, Indiana. Brooks and I have had the honor and privilege of meeting a nice young man named Ryan Bennett. One of the things we have to compliment is through all the relationships, national corn growers, growing beans. One of the benefits was Dennis Stevens, the president of Monty's Plant Food Company, got to go down, meet Ryan and his family. They were talking about hemp. And along the way, he met Ryan and found out through the FFA project what he was doing for his 81-year-old neighbor. He was helping the guy through FFA, putting hay wagons together so this guy could go out and bale alfalfa. Well, Dennis was telling me this story about this young guy, and along the way he said that he would like to meet me and Brooks Cardinal. Ryan is an outstanding 16-year-old young man. He's putting his neighbors and his friends first. With Ryan's passion, Brooks and I went ahead and we sponsored him on 10 acres of growing beans, and we're helping him along to increase his bean and corn yield. Well, Brooks, good corn here.
A little dry.
A little what?
A little dry.
So we're out here today looking at some of Brooks Cardinal's high-yielding corn crop. You know, he didn't really listen and follow all the rules from the Mac school and everything I've been telling him to do. Now over here on his wife's corn, where she's been following everything we're talking about, it looks really good this year. She's following the program to heart. But I'll be honest, I think Brooks still has a long ways to go before he's going to be able to compete against Spartacus.
So this is what we've been up against, is dry weather. These dry corners are about done. They ain't gonna make nothing.
What variety, Brooks?
This is Agrigode 6659. This is under 30 here. I got my split out in here, and it goes to 38,000 on the irrigated.
Oh wow, Brooks, it gets a lot better as we get out here.
Yeah.
You can tell where the pivot kicked in.
Yeah, I think the pivot started about in here. You know, I feel pretty good about this field overall. Tissue tests, we've improved it from last year, and that's all we ask. You know, we just want to improve. We want to better ourselves every year.
I know you and I are both members of the Mac school. We've really taken a lot out of that, haven't we, this year, and helped get us ahead.
Yeah, we couldn't have done this alone. I mean, the Mac school's definitely been a huge advantage to us.
I noticed that these plants are exceptionally high.
Well, you can tell the May corn is a good foot. It's 2 foot taller than the April corn.
Now, was that because of it for reaching for sun?
No, it's just because it's been growing a lot faster. And, you know, the nodes are stacked here on this April corn because all the cooler weather. But this stuff's been pushing so hard, the nodes are farther apart.
So with it being irrigated, Brooks, what have you been doing? Anything special on it to keep the disease pressure down? Because you hardly have any disease in this corn at all.
Yeah, it's clean. And I mean, yeah, I've got one fungicide application at B12 applied on this, but that's it.
So today was a pretty cool day. We went down, looked at some beans, pulled some tissue samples on some beans. Then we went down in 2 river bottoms, pulled tissue samples. Then I actually went and sprayed some fungicides. First day of spraying Veltima, BSF. Pretty excited about it, see how long protection we can get. This is a new entry for us for a field last year. We lost it to the flood. So as far as a stand, like where we're gonna pull the contest off, I'd call this about a 4.5. Still kind of excited about it. I mean, it looks good, it's got great color. Starting to come around, we're spraying fungicide on it, Veltima. This corn's probably pushing B12. I think this is actually gonna be RHYLAN's entry in the contest.
It's a big frog, you know that?
She actually loaded up the planter and actually drove part of this when we planted it, did most of the planting, did the recommendations of what she thought on the fertilizer rates. Kind of excited to see what she does here. She would be spraying fungicides, but she just got done with basketball practice and she's a little tired, so old Dad thought he'd help her out here anytime I can sit on my butt. You know, I can do that job. Nothing tickled me more to see her name on a new world record. I'd probably be happier for her to break it than me. So I just hope that the flood stays out of this field, and what she fertilized, I think she's gonna have a damn good shot to get it. I guarantee you the fertility's there to grow 600 down there now. We just need rain, break that dry fertilizer down. We planted May 29th. We did get 6/10 Saturday. That pushed us to about a little over 2 inches for the year. As you guys have noticed through the years of CornWarriors, that normally we're at 20 inches. You know, it's throwing a little different issue for our tissue samples for us being that dry. I mean, we don't take a whole lot of rain because our ground does hold moisture really well, but the problem is we were dry so early and we didn't have good root development being that dry early. So, you know, we've had to change a few things on our management as far as fertility. Some things are working, some things are not working as of right now, but there's one guy out there that kind of scares me after seeing his corn. It's this guy that just walked in here.
I don't know about that. I mean, biggest sandbagger I know right here.
He's got good corn. We got pretty good looking corn.
We got to water our corn like every other day, and he gets, what'd you say, 2 inches?
Month and a half.
A month and a half? And it looks like the way I just seen it. You know, with Kevin starting the MAC group, you know, we were, you know, I feel like one of the first to jump on board. I mean, we're all about it. It's been a great thing for us.
We've had several calls on tissue sampling again where you guys were pulling the wrong leaves again. Basic stuff here again. We want to pull the last fully collared leaf up till tassel, right? We just hope he didn't learn too much. What creates a suck out is if you get a hole in your tile bigger than the perforation and it starts sucking the ground out. And I will admit, it has been there for over a year and I've not fixed it yet, but I thought I knew exactly where it was at. I even told Seth, I think we're past it. Looking for our big washout or suck out here again. Yeah, we're past it now. Yeah, that'd be a bad day. We both would be smashed. Whoa, no, we wouldn't. That was it. Holy I thought we were past that. Yeah, okay, and bam. I even told Seth to be careful that if we hit this, your face could be smashed on the windshield. But he was holding himself, bracing himself, and so we will get that suck out fixed this fall.
The thing I don't like seeing here is these silks.
Yeah, look at how long they are.
Those are long silks.
Those are really long silks.
So a silk will just keep growing until it gets pollen. And the longer it gets, you can get that zipper effect because these silks down here are covered up and that pollen hits up here, it can't reach the silks on the bottom. And that could be due to the heat. 95, 98 degrees, it goes sterile.
I've noticed it started turning brown though. You're starting.
That's a good sign, you know. She's getting pollinated, but
we just got to make sure the backside here gets it.
Yep.
And there's nothing you could do about that.
We've been really working on our boron, get our boron levels up, and you know that's going to help our pollination out as much as anything. Don't you agree?
You got to get your boron, your calcium, and your potassium up there so we can get water movement and we can get good pollination. Kind of make sure we have some ROI in these crops too.
Right, yeah, that's the whole key is making money at the end of it. I mean, I stress out a lot on discoloring on these lower leaves. So I know we're done with this leaf. This leaf is really not supplying anything to this plant.
It's not getting any sunlight?
No sunlight, it's way down in there. What signs is this telling us down here? Is this just telling us, hey, I'm done with you?
A lot of times when we start wide dropping and stuff like that, I've been in a lot of fields, Brooke, where we're not even having any bottom leaves left on the plants anymore. So as far as the bottom leaves go, I'm not really concerned about them. I mean, you got to remember, everything we care about is now up top. Our solar panels are up there. We're worried about pollination. We got to keep the ear healthy. What we're seeing down there, I'm not concerned at that stage.
Okay.
I mean, just driving around town, this is some of the healthiest corn I've seen in your area.
Yeah, we've been real happy with this, but this is a healthier hybrid too. Let's pull an ear here.
Check some pollination, see what we're seeing. Yep. So it goes back to what he was talking about earlier with the long stem, getting pollination out of the silks.
You know, we got some attached up towards the top. We got some blanks in the center. That ain't good. And there's a lot of them. 16 rows, which that's an average year for this hybrid. 66, 59 don't put on a lot of rows, but it's got a lot of length. You know, this ear really sucks, honestly. But you see how we got pollination on this side. This side, we got a lot of blanks. That's exactly what I was talking about.
The underside didn't get
The underside of the silks are hidden back there. We don't have enough pollen. That's where these blanks are. Spartacus may get us on this field. Good thing this ain't a contest field. So you ever sprayed tassel high corn with a Haggie?
No, I've never done that.
We're about due for an application, so let's go try it out.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right. See how the tips of these leaves, that brown?
Yeah.
We've had so much heat. I'm getting that in every field. And
is it no matter how much water you have?
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't care how much water you pump to it, and that's stress. And stress is yield. So I'm just concerned about this crop with this heat. And I think we're gonna see it in our pollination, is where we're gonna see it in kernel loss.
Yeah. Just like what you showed us down there in that crop.
Yep.
Now, how often do you water this?
We've been watering this every night.
Every night?
Yeah. All right, you want to drive? Take her for a spin. Self-explanatory, probably from what you're used to. It controls the throttle. All you're doing is controlling the hydrostack.
So I just push forward?
Yep.
And just push?
Yep. You may have to cock it to the left. Yeah.
And then keep it on the road?
Yep. Don't knock down any corn. And your green buttons to kick it on.
Kick it on?
Yep.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity.
Hey man, I'm glad you made it out. Appreciate everything you do.